Hi guys, Matt here from J-tec Suspension, and in Workshop Talks today we're going to be talking about mount kits and bushes. So in the first part of this video we'll look at different styles of bushing, so you can identify what you've got in your shock and what you need in order to replace it. So there's three main styles of bushing that are available. The first one's the top hat style bushes, which have this flange that sits on the outside of the bush. These press in from either side of a eyelet to create one complete bushing. They're commonly found on Fox and Olin shocks fitted as standard. The other type of bushing that's commonly found is the DU bushing, as they're commonly known, which is a metal sleeve with a material inner. So these come as standard on rock shocks. The other type of bushing that we use here at J-tec is a brand called eguGH. So these bushes are a preloaded bushing that press in as a complete assembly. These have a really low coefficient of friction, and they're also oil and water resistant, so they don't react with most lubricants, and they have a very low absorption of water, meaning you can use them on your bike in torrential rain with no issues. So these bushes come in different sizes. Common eyelet sizes are 12mm, ½ inch and 14mm. So you get these in all different forms in order to fit those various sizes of eyelet. So the best thing to measure them is a vernier. So with a vernier, obviously you need to set it to 0, and then when measuring, if you measure the outside diameter, you'll see that this is a 12mm mount kit bushing. So the outside diameter of this, confusingly, is actually 14mm. It's because the ID of the shaft of the bushing, so the outside diameter of the shaft is 12mm. You'll find that on a ½ inch shaft the outside actually measures 15.07. That's because the inside diameter is ½ inch, which is 12.7mm. So the width on all mountain bike shock eyelets should be 12.7mm as well on the ½ inch, and then on the 12mm it's 12mm. So just to give you an idea on that one. If you've got the Fox ones, they only come in ½ inch. So if you're just replacing your eyelet bushings on a Fox mount kit, they're the ones that you need to order. They can be found on our website and via the link in the description. So now we'll go over to the mount kits. So we'll go through how to measure the widths, the inside diameters and the outside diameters, so you can purchase replacements. Right, so if we start off with a ½ inch mount kit, in order to measure these, ideally set of verniers, measuring the widths with a tape measure or steel rule or anything like that is nigh on impossible to get accurately, as these things are manufactured to 0.05 millimeters of accuracy. So if you're out by 0.1, it can make a substantial difference. So best get yourself a decent set of verniers, and then the width is the measurement across the mount kit where it touches the frame on either side and the frame is clamping on the mount kit. So in this case we have a 20mm mount kit. In order to measure the outside diameter of the shaft, again it's this measurement here, so that will tell you whether you've got a 14mm shaft, a 12.7mm shaft, which is ½ inch, or a 12mm shaft. So that's when that's the sort of the main measurement. We often see people mistaking 12mm for ½ inch and so on. And then to measure the internal diameter, the ID, as it's also known, is the size of the hole. If you don't have a set of verniers and you happen to know your width and outside diameter, you can get a drill bit. So there's a 6mm drill bit that fits nicely into the hole. Obviously 6mm drill bit in an 8mm hole has got a fair bit of rattle. So yeah, if you've got 6, an 8 and a 10mm drill bit, you can tell the size of the holes. There'll always be 6, 8 or 10, as it'll be an M6, an M8 or an M10 bolt used on the frame. So yeah, that's how you measure the width, the outside diameter and the ID of the mount kit. Now we'll go into a bit more details about different types and what benefits each have. So the two main types of bushing we see will sort of include the eguGH and the DU as one. So those just press into the eyelet, and then the spacers on either side sit flush against the eyelet. So that's one of our mount kits, and then obviously in some cases you'd see the DU bushing there. The other style is the top hat style, where the flanges sit on the outside and then a seal sits in between the flange and the flat spacer on the outside of the shaft. So the issue with this style is if you're going for a really narrow mount kit, such as like a 15mm, which you get in some cases, or slightly narrower in others, the flange actually touches the insert in the frame before the shaft does. So you're limited on your width, your minimum width on those. On ours, we use a 3D printed spacer with a quad ring inside there. So that gives a superb sealing surface, and we're able to make these to any size that we desire. So the shafts are machined, and then we can use the lathe in-house to trim these down to any specific size, and then just produce the spacers in-house. The main benefit to our mount kits as well is the eguGH bushing that we use. So this specific material that's used in the eguGH bushing is their J material. So this material has a really low friction coefficient, and is actually got some fibres that are produced in the resin itself. These are laid up in such a way that they increase or reduce the friction in the bushing, but increase its performance in terms of its wear rate. So the wear rate on these is really low, meaning they last absolutely ages, whereas something like a DU bushing wears much faster. So we don't recommend using these. We'd much prefer going for an eguGH bushing in there. So yeah, that's a brief overview of mount kits, how to measure them, different IDs, different diameters. So yeah, if you've got any further questions, please drop them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to get back to you as soon as possible. Drop us an email if you like also. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.